What's going on, guys? How is everyone doing this evening? Oh, how happy I am to be here tonight. We are going to have a heck of a show, that is for sure. Hello to everyone who is in the audience so far. I really do appreciate those of you who get here early, enjoy the beats, and say hello to everyone else. We got Richard in the house and Mindy. Thank you to the two of you, my admins, for this evening. I believe we have Pam and Brandy as well, who should be making an appearance tonight. But hello to you all. And then who else we got? We got Perf Finds for you. Greetings to you. Salutations to you out there in New York. Sublime90. It might be the first time I've ever seen you comment. If you commented before, welcome back. If not, thank you for coming in for the first time. And Smiley Girl, long time no see. I don't think I've seen you in about maybe a month and a half, last time I remember. There's Pam. We were just looking for you a second ago. Happy to have you here as well. Hope everyone's doing good. Zyda, how are you doing tonight? Good to see you in. Don't forget to reach out to me over the next week, Zyda, so we can schedule in our one-on-one video call so we can talk about things to do to boost up your store and increase revenue and stuff like that. We got to make sure we get that scheduled in. But hello to everyone who's taken the time to be here. Let's have a great show. We got a lot of technical stuff we're going to be talking about tonight, too. Some of it's going to be a little bit grindy. Some of it's going to be a little bit opinion-based, but it's fun. It's important stuff to know. Let's see what we got going on. Simple Fit Life. Good evening to you as well. Thank you for tuning in. First-time commenter, I believe. Happy to have you. Cold, cloudy, and almost dark here in Ohio. You know, our skies are awfully dark right now, too, and it's unfortunately due to these wildfires that are cropping up again this extended summer due to the global warming situation. I saw this crazy video today, and I'm not one for conspiracy theories, but I guess during the pre-show I can kind of talk about whatever I want. Firstly, I want to talk about the Kanye West video that came out the other day, the Kanye West Jesus is King video. Has anyone else seen this video? It's like 2 hours long, and it's Kanye as a completely born-again Christian, and apparently he's been a Christian for 4 years now, and he is throwing out like red pill conspiracy theory after red pill conspiracy theory, like one after the other, and I've heard most of the mainstream conspiracy theories, you know, the ones that like Epstein committed suicide. Like, I've heard these wild stories before, but these theories that he's throwing out are completely radical. And it's on the Apple, it's like Beats One Apple Music channel. It's a ridiculous 2-hour video, and even as a non-Christian, even as a non-Kanye fan, I strongly recommend you go check it out, at least the first hour, because there's a lot of interesting things that he brings up about the founders of the country, and how society has done a lot to try and put this harsh stigma on him as being a black billionaire and trying to paint him as being a crazy person. I just think it's a really, really interesting, very unfiltered perspective from a very unique character, to say the least. And it's certainly worth a peek. And then I watched another video this morning. I don't know how it stumbled across my table, but we were watching and learning about the California wildfires. I have a couple of friends who are very close. Thoughts go out to Dennis Fanucci and Jason Morehouse. They're very close to the wildfire. And I reached out to them and said, hey, if you need anything, just come on down. I got you taken care of. And I was watching news and looking at the evacuation reports and everything. And I had also noticed a video talking about man-made lightning. And I know this sounds like so left field, and again, I'm not subscribing to these theories. These are things that I've witnessed, and I just wanted to share with you. And they showed a demo of them creating man-made lightning underwater, and you just see the water just erupt, and the water just starts boiling. And we're talking like a riverbed, a whole river, and just the water is just violently boiling at the surface from this man-made lightning bolt. And then you know what they do from there? They show this supposed video of a firefighter. They have like a chest cam. It's like black and white, a little grainy, but not bad, showing the dirt boiling steaming and boiling at the ground level. And I don't know if that's, has something to do with maybe like underground fires or something, but it was the most ridiculous thing I'd ever seen. And then he starts showing this satellite imagery, and he says, yeah, humans are creating these plasmas and these lightnings underground. And you can actually see the stuff happening on like the Doppler radar where these fires are taking place, and it's a little wild. And if you want me to send you some links, I will, but I strongly recommend you check out that Kanye video, because that's a whole nother thing to watch, especially if you're of the variety who partakes in things that help you relax in the evening. You will certainly enjoy that video as well. Let's say hello to everyone else who showed up. Simply Dana, thank you for tuning in. I'm happy to have you. I appreciate our talk before the show, and I do hope that we get to continue it. I love meeting new resellers, and I know there's so many creators who are very difficult to reach. And I think Pam can testify, like my response time is through the flippin' roof. And I love meeting new people, especially who are, just kind of working their way through their journey. I don't enjoy talking to people who are 5, 10, 15 years down their journey as much, because they kind of hardened up and they don't like to share stuff and stuff like that. But new people, I love talking to new people and seeing where they're at and seeing how I can help and all of that. But thank you for reaching out to me today. Anyone who watches this, you guys are always welcome to try and reach out to me. And as long as you're nice, I'm going to be nicer right back to you. Corgi Hill Attic, thank you for coming back again. Hey, I was wondering if you'd have power. Yes, we have power, but if we're going to have issues with power, we're probably a week out. Okay. Sublime 90 says, I'll watch that Kanye video with some whiskey. Yeah, whiskey or, it's an absolutely wild video though. Mr. Exquisite, hello, back again for a live show. This makes 3 weeks in a row for you that I remember seeing you. Thank you so much for dropping in. Mindy says, like button, slam it hard. Yes, everyone. Not only like it on one device, but find another device and then log in and like it on that one too. We'd appreciate it. Who else? I want to make sure I got everyone. Future Fortunes, happy you are doing well. Thank you again for that picture earlier that you sent me. I actually shared that with a female friend we've talked about before. She's wandered back into my life, and I shared that whole thing with her, and it melted her heart as well. So thank you for being here, and I'm happy to hear that things are doing well for you right now, on the up for you. Did I miss anyone? If I missed anyone, I'm sorry. Oh, you got it, Mr. Exquisite. Feel free to reach out to our community too, Pam, if you don't mind throwing a link in. Anyone, for some reason, if you're here and you haven't joined our Facebook community yet, I post up some cool stuff. I post up items that I find while I'm out. I share stories. I talk about news in advance. And then it's a community thing. So other people, you can run posts, you can ask questions, you can get help. And we're not like most Facebook groups. I really must stress that. I think in the last 2 years, I think we've only had to remove 3 people. So we have a very, very positive community, and it's an intelligent community too. So if we see a comment go up that's factually inaccurate, we'll actually remove it, talk with the person, make sure that they understand the correct answer or the correct scenario, whatever it might be, and tell them, hey, thank you for trying, thank you for contributing, but here's some additional information for you. So if you're not part of the community, we'd love to have you as well. I got a feeling like I don't have enough water again. And this goes out to the private chat. Pamela, if you are commenting within YouTube and I don't know who you are, the icon won't help. Make sure you actually change your username too, because I can only refer to people by their usernames, even if I know who they are now, just for privacy's sake. Thank you, Mr. Exquisite. Beth Bryant, you missed me. I didn't miss you. Hello to you again, Beth. Thank you as always for being here. Happy to have you. And you as well. I don't think I've ever seen you post in our community. I'd love to have you. Definitely jump on in. Oh, those of you who don't know, we do stream in 1080p resolution. So if you're on a smart device, just go ahead and click the dots in the top right, like touch your screen, top right corner. You can go down and change your quality settings to 1080p. If you're on a computer, it's going to be the little gear icon at the bottom of your screen. And then if you're on a TV for some reason watching me, just click the menu button and there should be able to get you there. But you're going to want to view us in the highest resolution you can, because we pay extra money so that way you guys can see us in crisp, high definition. I'm going to grab a second glass of water. I will be... you know what? I'm an idiot. I forgot. I got a extra jug of water here. I will stay with you guys. Guys, I'll be honest. I have not reviewed all of my information. I have taken well over 30 pages of notes for tonight. We have a lot of stuff to talk about. We're going to have some conjecture, conjecture is easier on me, guys, when I put together some details, and then I just talk with you and give you my thoughts and feelings and information about the market, which, let's be honest, that's why most of you are here. There's nothing I'm telling you can't go find out on your own, so there's going to be a good size opinion section in the middle, and then we're going to look at some items, and we're going to try not to stay up too late, but we're still going to have a great time, though. Art Glass Fortunes. Fortunes in Glass should be your name. Yeah, definitely. Those of you who don't know, Future Fortunes has found some really, really high-end, I think it was Fenton pieces the other day. Good stuff, good stuff. And for the admins, just so you guys know, I have both group chat and admin chat up currently, so if you guys need to get a hold of me during the show, that's going to be the best way to do so. If you would like to be a part of our community, please consider joining. Here, let me put it up for you. I don't think Pam was around to put it up. But yeah, please consider joining. We have some time. I know we don't mention our Instagram often, okay? But if you want early access to some of the news stories that we're going to be talking about, if you want to see some behind-the-scenes footage, if you want to see like extra details, or if you want another way to get out to me, we're probably going to be doing some prizes and giveaways and stuff like that, but we'd love it if you followed us on Instagram. Both that and subscribe to our channel. It's all free. And thank you to the 2 or 3 of you who just jumped off. I could see when people leave. I appreciate you going and doing that for us. It does help us out. Because I understand not everyone is interested or wants to give money to what we're doing, and I respect that, but this is a great way to do something free to be able to help out what we're doing. No, Mindy, I did not see his paperweight. Is it inside? It's probably inside a group chat, huh? I'm scrolling up right now trying to find it. Yeah, it's not letting me scroll that far. You'll have to send it to me later. We do have pickups today, but our pickups are super, super lean. There was not much I could do about that. You know, it might really help if I open the stream labels. Can't see it. We're going to have to move this really quick, guys. There we go. I wonder if I can get a really nice cinematic, like a little cinematic movement shot, just nice and steady. Yeah, there we go. That's tidy. I had to open up a secondary application that we use that allows us to see when people subscribe and allows us to see when people donate to the show. Donations aren't going to me tonight, guys, and we'll talk about that at the top of the hour. So if you are planning on donating, please wait till the show starts so we can talk to you about where that money will be going this week. Oh, man. Holy cow, that's a nice, that is a nice paperweight. Yeah, those of you who don't know, we have a group chat thing here. Let me do some magic really quick. I have 2 computers going, so I'm sending the window from this computer across to this computer because they aren't physically connected. And then what I'm going to do, because I'm a nice guy, so I'm going to pull up that paperweight because I want everyone to be able to see how cool it is. We're going to Command Shift 4. We're going to steal a screen capture of it. And then we're going to go over here. We're going to add an image. Call it weight. And we're going to... I really hope I didn't screw up the pre-roll right now. There's a small chance I might have by doing this, but we'll see. There it is. Look at that. Isn't that bad boy a beauty? Hang on. think that one's a you guys can see it, right? Oh, you guys are running on a little bit of a latency. It's about 20-second latency. Yeah, you guys can see it. That's a beautiful paperweight. But again, it's one of those, who's willing to pay for it type things. Mic check, testing, 1, 2, 3, mic check. Mic check, there we go, got it back. Yeah, don't know how that happened. Thank you guys. Thank you, we're good now, we're good. There's like a 20-second delay, but we're good. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, for some reason there's like a 20-second delay tonight, so yeah, we got the audio back though. Thank you to everyone who was nice enough to comment that. I don't even know how that even managed to happen. If I'm coming in light, actually, we're gonna bring it up just a little bit further. If I'm too loud, I apologize. But I know you guys get so upset when you can't hear me over the music. So we're gonna go extra loud tonight. In the nick of time is correct. Oh man, tonight's show. Who's ready? You ready? I'm ready. Let's go. What is going on, guys? This is Jay Kraft with the Facebook group All Around Pickers Lounge, and I'm coming at you live from beautiful Bakersfield, California. Today is October 27th, 2019, and boy, oh boy, do we have a huge show in store for you tonight. This has been a huge week. eBay had their annual Q3 shareholder call where we got an interesting perspective on gross merchandise volume. And what is that? I know. We'll get into the details of that tonight and why that's important to you. On top of that, I'm calling eBay out tonight, and not just eBay, but I want the investors who are dropping hard-earned money into eBay to understand how people at the ground level actually feel. Not other investors, not CEOs, and not what they're being told, but actually how us sellers truly feel. So I've got a piece specifically targeted towards them. And we're also going to be talking about two, not just one, but two Amazon coaches, and I use air quotes here, coaches that are being sued by Amazon, and they're probably going to lose. I know you don't always want my opinion, but they're going to get taken to the cleaners on this one for some of the wild claims that they've made for their sellers, as well as some of the illegal activities or guideline breaking activities that they're suggesting people to do. It's going to be an interesting week. Guys, if you missed out on last week's show, we talked about eBay and Libra and the fact that they're leaving. We also talked about how Amazon returns are always going to be better than ours. And we had a special guest, Richard Eberhardt, on air to talk about Mercari. And if you missed it, we also released the interview, more of a discussion, me and him talking together. We released that as a standalone video last Wednesday. So if you don't want to watch the whole show and you just want want to learn about Mercari, I strongly recommend you check it out. And I also started on Mercari this week. It's been an interesting experience. I wish I got an opportunity to put more time into the program, but I sold an item within the first 24 hours. And it was an item that had been sitting here for a little bit, but I hadn't actually started pulling stuff off of eBay yet. Well, I sat down and I told Daniel, I'm like, hey, Daniel, I heard a lot of good things about Mercari last night, and this was on Sunday after we aired the interview. I said, I feel really strongly about it. If you want to get together with me on Monday, we can sit down and I can share with you what I know and get you started on Mercari. And he was very engaged and interested about it. He jumped online, learned a few things on his own, opened up his own account, and within the first hour, he had sold 4 items. So we're talking about a high level of velocity when you're selling the correct type of items. But I want you to know that I have a video that's already been shot. We shot half of it so far. And I'm going to be experimenting with non-traditional items on Mercari, things like vacuum accessories and high-end soaps and candles and things that you wouldn't necessarily think about for Mercari, because I want to see if Mercari has the range to be able to handle those types of items. But from what I've seen so far, I'm pretty impressed. Velocity, ease of listing. I was listing items. My first item took me 2 minutes. My second one took me 30 seconds. Okay, that's pretty darn fast, and it's because they don't give a crud about any of the minutia that eBay seems to care about. So that's what's been going on with that. Guys, this week, okay, I don't know if you've heard about this, but there's a thing going on. It's called Team Trees, and it's a massive thing here on the YouTube platform right now where creators, large and small, everyone from PewDiePie and Mr. Beast and FaZe Rug, FaZe Clan, these big, massive mega YouTubers are coming together with the goal in mind of helping to raise $20 million to plant 20 million trees. It's a wild plan, and they've raised, I think, somewhere in the area of $7 or $8 million so far. Now, I've already given a contribution, but a lot of the people who watch this show don't know much about YouTube culture and all the other things that really happen within the community. Most of you are just engaged here as resellers, but this is a fantastic opportunity where a $1 donation can go to help plant a tree, right here in America. It's funded entirely through the Arbor Day Foundation. If you want more information, teamtrees.org. You can visit them and check them out. If you'd like to give a tax-deductible donation through our channel, through the Super Chat, you can. You can also use the PayPal link, and you can also donate directly through the link at the top of the description. I believe Pam has the link on hand as well. None of the money that is going to be earned from this show, that includes ad revenue and Super Chats, will be kept by me. 100% of it is going to get donated to Team Trees, and that is going to go on top of my personal donation that I've already given, as well as another one I plan on giving here towards the end of the week. So if you'd like to do your part today and you'd like to do something a little bit special and you'd like to help out Team Trees, I'd love it if you did donate today. So give that a shot if you'd like, and 100%, like I said, 100% of it's going to be going to them. If you do PayPal me, I ask that you send me a message so that way I know. If you do it via PayPal, more money will go to the organization. If it comes through the Super Chat, YouTube does take some money off the top, but we'll do our best to cover the gaps on those as well. So I just wanted to get that out there. Guys, today, I always like to start off the show by talking with you about something, something that isn't as heavy before we get into the heavy stuff. I met a young guy at the swap meet today, and I always find it fascinating how people who are very, very new to reselling are just pumped and excited about it. They want to make sure that everyone knows how successful they are on the platform. Or maybe it's just something that young guys that I run into do. He's like, oh yeah, no, I've been on the platform for like 3 months now. I'm making all kinds of money. After he saw me looking up an item, I was looking up a old realistic audio microphone. He saw me looking it up. He's like, oh, you're looking it up, right? Yeah. He's like, dude, is it going to be worth it? I'm like, I don't think so. But, this is what we do. We got to look them all up. And, he asked a couple of questions. And I found it interesting, too, because he was talking with me and asking me about this in front of another vendor. Thank you, Meredith, for your Team Trees donation. $10. That's 10 trees we're going to plant. I'll tell you what. Up to the first $100, I will cover all of the fees, okay, to make sure that 100% of the donation goes there up to the first $100, okay? So thank you to you, Meredith, for helping out with what we're doing today. So I was talking with this guy, and there was a vendor there, and a vendor that I've never gotten along with. This guy does not like me. We butt heads because we both know the game. Neither one of us is willing to budge on prices. He's stubborn just like I am. He will let an item sit in the sun, bake and rot for months on end before he comes down on price on it. He'll let it turn into trash just for the principle of it. Rather than take the money. And I'm the same way when I negotiate with some people. I had somebody come by and want to buy a whole bunch of toys off of me. I got a bunch of pops in the other room, and he's like, well, I can offer you a great bulk deal. And I'm like, well, what do you consider a great bulk deal? He's like, I can give you $3 a unit. And I looked at him and I said, for $3 a unit, I'd rather throw them at the cars that are going by. And he's like, what? I'm like, yeah, I'll have more fun throwing these at cars that are driving by than the $3 a unit that you're offering me. And he thought that was a bit foolish and a bit childish. And I looked at him, I said, your offer is foolish and childish. Okay, if we're going to be honest with each other right now. So back onto it. I was talking with this gentleman at the swap meet, and he said, I'm doing so good. He's like, I listed like 400 items this month and I already sold 200 of them. I looked back at him and I said, you're doing something wrong. I said, what? I'm like, you are doing something wrong. No one lists 400 items in their first month and sells 200 of them without getting something wrong. Okay, your prices have to be far too low. You're not maximizing your margins. He's like, really? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, you could probably be making more money with the same stuff you have already. And I directed him to one of the videos that I made, the how to price anything video. A lot of times people are pricing their stuff too low, and they feel that is what is creating their success as their pricing model because they're moving items. And I say, yes, you can move more items with lower prices, but I would rather do less work and get more money. Okay. And that's what I had to explain to him. And then he says, what's really killing me is my shipping cost. I said, well, what do you mean? He's like, I went to the post office the other day and it cost me like $80. And I'm like, oh, that's your first. And he reaches into his pocket and pulls out a scroll of cost. And I'm looking at it and it's flat rate large, priority 3-day, not cubic, priority 3-day. And I look at this and I'm like, yeah, dude, I could cut this in half for you. He's like, what? I'm like, I could cut it in half for you. You're paying too much money. And I was watching the mistakes that he was making early on. And, it's something that I hate to see happen because I tell people it's not a matter of giving me your money. It's a matter of making sure you're not giving your money away. Okay. Yes, I'm going to ask you for your money if you're just going to give it to the post office instead. Or yes, I'm going to ask you for your money if you're just going to give it away in margins instead. Okay. That's why I tell people, like, early on, these stumbling blocks are very, very, very expensive. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you're a new seller, if you're somebody who's looking to pull the trigger and get started on selling, get a mentor, somebody who knows what they're doing. I don't care if it's me or somebody else. Get yourself a mentor, whether you pay or not. Okay. Always make sure you have somebody there. There's a lot of expensive mistakes. This kid's probably thrown away $400 or $500 in the last month easily on shipping cost alone when sending out 200 items. If that one receipt had $40 worth of mistakes on it and there was only maybe 8 items on there. So keep that in mind. Pass some positivity. If you run into somebody out there who's starting, getting going, send them some information. Say, hey, I watched this guy on YouTube. He's kind of sharp. He might be able to help you. You can even send the guy a message and he'll probably help you out as well. I left him with my phone number and I do truly hope that I hear from him as well. So, Daniel 2500 says, either I'm having an off month or sourcing up here in the valley has dried up some, might head to the Bay Area soon. Things here in the valley are shifting quite a bit when it comes to sourcing. I'm kind of curious how far up you might actually be because I had been sourcing in Fresno, but I just went back there last weekend. I went to the Sunnyside swap meet. I did fantastic, my friend. So you might want to consider changing venues or changing buying styles or possibly even diversifying your portfolio of items you buy. If you're interested in having a one-on-one discussion regarding what's going on with your store and your brand, don't be afraid to reach out to me. We do free consultations all week long for somebody who just wants to say, hey, can you kind of tell me what's going on, what I might be doing wrong? I'd be happy to speak with you. And Modesto, cruise on down from Modesto down into Fresno. You can come down every single weekend. You can really crush it down there. It's even worth paying the hotel room if you do it correctly. I'll be completely honest with you. Because I go down there, I stay there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, okay? And I even stay at the casino and I'll drive down to town. I can make great revenue down there in Fresno, more than enough. easily more than enough to cover my entire trip and put another $1,000 in my pocket. So definitely stay tuned for all of those pickups when we do have them. We want to start off, as always, by thanking our patrons. Now, if you do want to support our show today, beyond supporting just Team Trees, which, is a great thing to do and be a part of, you're welcome to join us out at patreon.com/Bolo RAMA. It's where people like yourselves who enjoy what we do are able to help us. We want to give an extra special thank you to Zyda, Pam, Matthew, Ashla, Anna and Joe, Lee James, Brandy, and Rob for your continued premium support here on our channel. Guys, without further ado, let's get straight into the news. Man, oh man, did we have an interesting shareholder call. So those of you who don't know what these are calls where shareholders within eBay, we're talking volume shareholders, get an opportunity to jump on a line and ask questions to executives at eBay. We're talking the CFO and we're talking the CEO predominantly. This year, because Devin Wenig stepped away recently, we had Scott Schenkel, former CFO or Chief Financial Officer, taking his place during the actual call. And then we had interim, I'm trying to remember this guy's name, we had interim CFO, I'm looking for his name, give me 1 second. I didn't think I was going to need it. We had an interim CFO in place as well. Andy Kring is interim CFO and Scott Schenkel is interim CEO, heading up the call this quarter. And it's an opportunity for eBay to share their financials, what they did over the last quarter. Were they making money? Why they didn't make more? Why did they lose money? And how are their assets doing? And when we speak of assets, we're referring to eBay Classifieds, and we're also referring to StubHub. And now eBay has a bunch of other smaller companies that don't really mean a whole lot of anything in the grand scheme of things. So the things that were interesting regarding this shareholder call, and which is, it's interesting for us because we get this really precise window into what's actually happening with eBay. And we've always talked before, we want more transparency. We actually want to know what's going on with the company. And I've said this before, the strength of this company is going to be a direct reflection of the quality of our sales and the viability of using this platform moving forward. If you were working at a restaurant, okay, per se, and every quarter your boss came to you and said, yeah, man, we're just making less and less money every month. Why? Why are we making less money? It's like, well, we just got less customers. Okay, well, are we doing anything to fix that? Well, we got these great ideas, but nothing seems to be sticking. What would the first thing you'd do be? Okay, you'd be worried about your job, and you would start looking into other opportunities for work, which is partly why these calls are so important. And I know no one else really wants to talk about them, and nobody else wants to put in the groundwork to really digest what's actually happening. But without this, you're essentially working for a company and you don't ever want to hear what the boss has to say. You don't ever want to have some of this insider info that's going to be able to protect you. I remember during the last recession, the last slowdown, the last real estate crisis that we had, there was a lot of people who really lost their ass. And a lot of it had to do with the fact that they didn't see the writing on the wall and they didn't diversify their portfolio or start making moves soon enough. And am I here saying that this is the end all be all for eBay? No, but I am telling you now, we are getting closer than we ever have been before. Okay, which is a very, very scary prospect. Because I remember 9 months ago, people were asking me then, like, hey, do you really think that it's that bad? And I'm like, it's bad, but it's not that bad. I'm here today to say it's getting pretty bad. Okay, things are getting worse. So gross merchandise volume was down 4%. And what does that mean? That means that as a whole, the entire site sold 4% less inventory. Now, this shouldn't be happening ever. Okay, when we have a site that we're touting the number of sellers and we're touting the number of active buyers and we're touting our new payment system and the fact that people love this and people are choosing this as their new choice to be able to buy inventory, we should see progressive volume month over month. And when we don't have that increase in volume, we should sit back and say, well, why? Why are less people coming here to buy items? Okay, well, the issue wasn't actually site traffic. Rather eye-opening of a statement, but let me lead this up with a second statement. For 2 quarters in a row now, we've seen GMV, or gross merchandise volume, total number of sales, actually go down. But what happened with eBay as a whole? Revenue went up. How? How does a company sell less stuff significantly less stuff. Remember, we're talking 4% of, billions of dollars worth of transactions. A company sells less items, but makes more money. Well, last time around when this happened, I believe it was because of promoted listings. Okay. Well, again, it's because of promoted listings. So what they've managed to do is, rather than find creative ways to drive volume and get more people to buy more items, they've simply found creative ways to charge us more money to continue doing the same work that we were doing before, which is something we're going to elaborate on even further as we move forward. So there's a couple of things from the actual press release. Now, we had the Q3 shareholder call, which was an audio. I listened to the audio and I read the transcript. And then we also had their actual press release, which was a separate document that got released as somewhat of a compendium, but not a one-to-one of the actual call itself. And I wanted to share with you some of the words from there. I got quite a few words, actually. And I'm not trying to be lazy. And yes, again, Sublime, I agree with you, the fees as well. So in regards to momentum of growth initiatives, this is what they said. Since launching the managed payments offering approximately 1 year ago, eBay has processed over 1.1 billion in payments for more than 20,000 sellers, with over 500 million of these payments processed in Q3. In September, the service reached 9.4% of volume in the US and successfully launched in the second market, Germany. First-party advertising also continued its momentum. More than 1 million sellers now leverage promoted listings, promoting over 300 million listings in the marketplace, which has resulted in a revenue of 103 million, up 119% on an as-reported basis and over 120% on an FX neutral basis. So we're looking at obviously increased revenue. More people are using promoted listings. Well, we kind of have a bit of a funnel situation in the sense that more people are using it because we simply feel we have to. When it was a new thing to the platform, or, it was something where we can kind of try it if we want to try it. We don't really need to do it. And I said this a year ago. I said it's going to get to a point where if you want to even play ball, you're going to have to. And it's almost a mafioso style shakedown if you really think about it, because they're saying, well, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. You're willing to give me a little bit of this, and maybe I'll show your items to some people. How's that sound? Okay. And as I said before, eBay is really, really bothering me with the direction that they're moving when it comes to revenue generation. And especially when now, they don't call us sellers advertising their listing. They call us first party advertisers. Okay. And it's almost condescending in a sense. On the topic of improving the marketplace experience, which I would love to know what eBay wants to do to make the marketplace a better place for both buyers and sellers. It's like, yes, this is your opportunity. This is your chance. Tell us what you want to do. Here's what we got. During the quarter, eBay introduced new tools and features that enhance the customer experience. TerraPeek, a suite of features that help sellers identify what to sell, when to sell, and how to price inventory, was integrated into the Seller Hub in major markets. The company also introduced additional seller protections, continued to enhance the new buyer experience, announced a managed delivery fulfillment service in the U.S., and bolstered its grocery partnership with Coles in Australia. Additionally, multi-user account access became available to sellers in the U.S., which was a planned expansion to Germany in 2020. So there's a whole bunch of stuff to unpack here. Did we get TerraPeek? Yes and no. And I have to stress this. I don't know if you guys know this, but TerraPeek has 15 years worth of data. Okay, where's the rest of the data? And this really, really like rubs me. Like I'm thankful I have the ability to go back a year. Okay, but where is the rest of the data, and why can't we have it? Because I can't see a good reason why eBay would feel the need to hold 14 years worth of data from its customers. Data that we could genuinely use to be able to price our items even better than we're pricing them now. Now, I have used TerraPeek on a few instances to be able to help get a better understanding of pricing or the history of items, or to be able to provide great information for other sellers who are in a bit of a pickle, but we deserve the rest of that information. I don't know where it's at. And I have this feeling, mark down your calendars right now, it's Sunday, October 27th, 2019, that will become a paid option at some point in time. Okay? I can see a 3-year, a 10-year, and a 15-year paid premium Terapeak search coming to the platform, because I can't see why eBay would buy Terapeak unless there was a financial edge for them. They're not just going to gift us this, and this isn't just going to be a value-added proposition for the site. Mark my word, they will find a way to generate revenue from Terapeak at some point down the line. How it's going to be implemented, I don't know just yet. Lake Tahoe Gem, thank you for your 2-tree donation this evening. I really do appreciate it. Like I said, I will be matching the fee gap, because I think they take about 35% for the super chats. I will be matching that all the way up to $100 this evening. So thank you so much for your contribution to the Team Trees program for tonight. Shazad, I have a question for you, believe it or not. Have you become a part of the managed payment programs over there in Europe right now? Because I would love to talk to somebody who's actually on this. I'm looking through the comments. Yeah, Fee-Bay, Fleece-Bay, I've heard them all. Yeah, cross our palms with silver, then we work for you. Yeah, it's a little bit wild. Moving further on to the rest of this statement. It says the company here also introduced additional seller protections. Now, I was very, very hyped about these additional seller protections until I realized that they came with the house advantage again. You have to offer free returns to be able to get these seller protections, okay? And we're talking about return shipping. We're talking about advanced customer resolutions. We're talking about these really, really great things that sellers have been demanding. How do we get them? You got to pay for return shipping. Well, I don't want to do that. And you also have to be a top-rated seller. Well, I can't qualify because USPS isn't scanning my packages, but what's it matter because the customer is getting the package on time, right? No. They need to be scanned within the stated time, regardless of when the customer gets the package. Regardless. Okay? Announced a Managed Delivery Fulfillment Service, MDFS, Managed Delivery Fulfillment Service, which is essentially Amazon or eBay's stab at Amazon. They're trying to be a drop shipper here domestically, onboard people's inventory and ship it out for them. Most of us aren't going to care about that, okay? Most of us, it's technically going to hurt quite a lot of us. I mean, the idea that somebody is going to go to eBay to buy their diapers every month is just foolish, okay? That's not what eBay's for. And creating a warehouse to be able to try and handle this type of fulfillment is dumb, okay? And then loading up a warehouse with, the toy of the week or the fashion trend of the month, I think it's foolish. I think it's short-sighted. I don't think eBay has the means to be able to get the staple goods that general consumers actually want. So that's not a great thing for us. And then if we look at the multi-user account, I haven't used it. I don't know anyone else who's used it. I can see the power behind it, of course. But again, it's not really improving the marketplace experience for me. It's great. It's great if you give me these features that I can use anytime I want, but if I don't really want these features, it's not really it's not something I care about. And cool, Kohl's in Australia, you got more groceries. That's great. And then we're going to talk more about the PayPal agreement here in just a second. In regards to commitment to responsible business practices, I'm going to tear this one apart line by line here. It says eBay continued to demonstrate its dedication to responsible business practices. During the quarter, Retail Revival launched in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and a version of the program was also brought to Plovdiv, Bulgaria, connecting local businesses to the global marketplace. Approximately 400 businesses across 12 cities globally have participated in the program. Collectively, yada, 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 yada. This is all lies here. eBay has announced, so that's they gave stats and numbers there after that. Retail Revival is a complete fraud, complete scam. And I have a video that I'll be cutting in December. When I take December off, I don't do the show, I'm going to be putting together this video. The last town, Akron, you guys are going to persecute me one way or the other. They went there and asked, I have to know, of the 50 businesses that actually were part of the program. 2 of them were companies that were already eBay sellers before eBay got there. Why are those the only 2 companies that are left out of the 50? And if you think I'm lying, I have letters, I have spreadsheets, I have documents. I documented everything. I have phone calls to the people who were running those businesses. I have phone calls to the eBay Retail Revival team where they refused my request for interview over the phone, refused my request to speak on a recorded line, refused to speak to me at eBay Open when they were there in person. Okay? It's because the program is a sham, and it's simply there to make shareholders feel good, to make eBay feel better about destroying local business and being a part of that, which, I mean, we're all a hand in it, but they're trying to clean their hands of the things that they've done. But I can prove without a shadow of a doubt, the entire thing is a scam. No one has ever been benefited from the Retail Revival program except for eBay. They're the ones who are making the money during this program. But you know how they're making this money? They're simply trying to make their shareholders happy. And you know who's paying for this? This is the most disgusting part. It's not like, they're doing everything digitally. They're flying teams of people out there. They're doing these big press events. They're having these big training modules that we don't get access to. Why not live stream these training modules? We get no access to this content, and it's coming on our dime. Our fees are what's paying for a failed Retail Revival program. Moving further on, it says, eBay also announced 100% renewable energy sourcing at its 2 largest locations, San Jose, California, and Draper, Utah. These sites join the company's yada, 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 yada for sustainable energy. Also a scam. It's the dumbest thing ever, okay? People don't understand that energy is energy, okay? Some of it's going to come from the fans, or the wind. Some of it's going to come from the sun. Some of it's just going to come from your classic coal, nuclear, etc. They are paying extra money to have energy routed from a different power plant to the building that they're at. It costs extra money. You can do it if you're a PG&E customer here in California. You can pay extra money to have more of your electricity from renewable sources. Big whoop. Big whoop. Okay? Like, I don't understand how this is it's causing a large global impact in the short term as well. I don't know. I'm not going to get into the science on that, but these are the things that were in there. So like I said before, this is the second quarter in a row where we've seen a drop in gross merchandise volume and an increase in the amount of revenue eBay is making. Now, if it happens again, okay, and now I want you to think about the scenario that I was talking about. You're working at this fast food joint still, and the third quarter comes along, and the boss comes to you, and he says, hey, I got good news and bad news. Good news is that we're making more money now. What? Really? How'd you do that? I didn't notice any more people coming through the front door. Oh, no. We don't have any more people coming through the door. We're just simply paying you less. What? Yeah, no. We're going to take more of your paycheck and everyone else's paycheck. We're just going to take a little bit more, and that way we can make more money because we make our shareholders happy. Why do you have to take more money? Didn't you have at the beginning of the year, didn't you have $9 billion in cash on hand? And now you only have, how much? You only have $3 billion left now. Where'd the $6 billion go? Oh, you paid down debt because it made the shareholders happy. Okay. Well, wait. You had $6 billion that you could have spent on innovation, tech. You could have gone to the postal summit and tried to negotiate better USPS rates for us. You had all these things you could have done with $6 billion, but you paid down debt because that's what Elliott Management wanted. That's what your shareholders wanted. So you paid down debt with it. Okay. Not a smart play. When asked about customer initiatives in 2020 on the shareholder call, okay, the response, I believe this was Scott Schenkel, he says, we will also be working on the managed delivery plan that Devin talked about at eBay Live event. And then we'll be working on structured data and kind of aspects as I covered. And all of those will be priorities. And we're also looking to do an overlay, what else we can do in the short term to solve buyers and sellers' pain points on our platforms. So we don't have a finite list for 2020, but that's broadly speaking how we're thinking about it. I would say as we look towards 2020, we don't have a finalized plan yet. Guys, 2020 is like 3 months away, okay? Can we get something moving and shaking? And here's the thing. He said solve buyers and sellers' pain points, So they realize something's wrong. Why don't we share these pain points with the shareholders? Why don't we tell them the things that they're objecting about? Let me look at some of these comments here. I don't want to miss anything that you guys are saying tonight as well. Hello to you, Pat. Happy to have you. Draper, Utah, home of a huge state prison. Wow. Shazad says, it is more enterprise user focus. We recently invited to eBay HQ in the UK, and it was an eye-opening experience. The benefits that they give big sellers is insane. Well, congrats to you on that. We're always looking for more points of contact. You know how our program works with everything that we do, but congrats on that. And I do hope you scale well. Please be mindful of the things that we are talking about, though, when it comes to your business and where you're going in the future. They said they're going to be working on structured data, which is something that I still feel is a path that they need to stop going down as far as trying to create this catalog, because it's doing more damage than good. Then there was another question or a response to that. He said, thanks so much. I wanted to know if I can build in on the internet sales topic in terms of where you're seeing the pain points of the business. Is it a new buyer growth? Is it seller listing on the platform? How are you overcoming some of that in terms of some of the initiatives to outrun some of the headwinds? So Scott's response was, it's just in that flow. And you have to, please understand, I'm reading his words, so it's not structured in the same way that the press release was. He said, it's just in that flow, particularly for higher dollar items, is where we see buyers abandon the cart at checkout because they're like, oh, wait a second, why is it more depending on the sales tax that were being added? Both Andy Krang, interim CFO, and Scott Schenkel, interim CEO, both went at length regarding sales tax after that. My response to that is, why not bundle it on the main page? Okay, because we've talked before about an integrated user experience, and this seems like an easy peasy solution. Why not simply say, okay, this user is buying in Texas. Their account is in Texas. Their phone is in Texas. Okay, why don't we just apply the sales tax to the number that they're seeing? So if, let's say their tax where they're at is 8% and they're buying an $800 item, why not display it as $864 on the main page? I mean, how hard would it be? Because if the customer isn't going to buy that one and they abandon their cart, they're generally not going to run back and start looking at other options. Because by the time they put the item in the cart, that's the item they want. They've committed to that item. Now, if they get there and then the price changes another $64, okay, or they see their calculated shipping is like another $40 on top of that, now they have to pull out another $100. But if we showed them these options beforehand, they could have gotten a little bit comfier with the $864 number then, or maybe if their budget was $800, maybe they could have fallen in love with a $750 item and have converted to somebody else's sale. Now, these little changes, I understand, can cost tens of thousands, if not $100,000, as far as having an engineering team go through and fix it. But if we're seeing tens of millions of dollars worth of abandoned carts every single month, that means that we have a problem there that needs to be fixed. And it's such a simple solution. Integrate the sales tax in the number that you're displaying on a per consumer basis. Okay. You can even make it log in if you want to see your final total. And I've seen listings before that say, click here to get your quote, to get the pricing information. It won't show it on the main screen. So yeah, I don't know why they're not doing it that way yet, if that's a problem that they're having. And then they didn't talk about any of the pain points for sellers. None. Okay. A listing on eBay is horrible now. Okay. I used to preach high and low about the benefits of listing on an iPad. It is the worst listing experience that I've ever had. And I don't suggest anyone even get one anymore. That's how bad it is. Where the heck is our dedicated seller app? When I paid for my eBay open ticket to go, there was a line that said, which one of these things are you most interested in? And one of them was a dedicated seller app. Okay, that never happened. Amazon has one. Mercari, when I created my account, it said, hey, are you a buyer or a seller? I'm a seller. And I believe I'm seeing a unique experience based on the type of account that I have. How hard is that? Create a unique experience for me. I don't see the issue with that. When asked about assets, he said, I can only comment that in the case of StubHub, we should culminate an announcement here by next earning call and no comment further on classifieds. So basically, we're fishing for information regarding what is going to happen with StubHub. And even the fact that he said that, we have an announcement coming. We've talked before about Elliott Management, their takeover, yada, 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 and how they bought 4.5% of the company back in January of, I believe it was this year, January of this year. They bought a large chunk of the company to be able to get a seat on the board. And since then, we've seen a lot of pressure from Elliott Management as far as what they should be doing. And those of you who don't know, Elliott Management is a hedge fund, vulture fund capital organization that bought a large portion of eBay. I think it was $13.5 million invested, or 13.5. It was an obscene number that they spent. It might have even been billion. It was a lot of money. Okay. And since then, they've been pushing, and they even did it day one with an open forum letter that they sent to eBay saying, hey, you need to separate your assets. You need to get them out of here because those assets are going to be costing you, or you're going to hurt the valuation of those companies by keeping them bundled in. And we're talking about StubHub and eBay Classified specifically. And, there's been other theories that have been floating around regarding why that is a thing as well. Let me look at this question here that followed that one up. This is from Stephen Zhu of Credit Suisse. Now, he's been on pretty much all of the shareholder calls. He always comes at it with some interesting one. And he said, he's an analyst with the company. He said, so it looks like a number of sellers using your payment rails have accelerated. So wondering if we should assume that this is signaling a greater comfort around the stability of the platform and you will be looking to move even faster from here. And secondarily, anything you can share at this point about the profile of the person that the board is looking to hire as the next CEO. And Scott Schenkel responded. He said, yes, look, first on payments. Look, we feel great about our execution. Quite frankly, we've seen accelerated adoption as we've talked about it in the US. Germany has launched successfully. So he is telling shareholders, okay, that we feel great about the execution of this and we have seen accelerated adoption. I wonder if the reason more people are using managed payments is it because you've made the default payment option on the app the card. Because remember, it used to default to PayPal. Now I have to click an option to get to PayPal to be able to pay for something with PayPal, but now you've made the default the card. Okay, my debit or credit card, which means I'm paying through Adyen, even though I don't intend to pay through Adyen. Okay, so there's a lot of small lies that are happening here. Okay, since a year ago, it's been quite amazing. We actually have enabled over 1 billion of GMV, as we've talked about, and as you called out, 20,000 sellers is a lot. That's what he said. 20,000 sellers using it is a lot. And I said it's really not, considering that there's millions on the platform. What do we have? 183 million? Or no, excuse me, that's buyers. We have millions and millions of sellers. Okay. Now, he said after that, he said, now we've processed really up to the limit that we can for the next 6 months, 7 months or so, until we get a little bit longer until we get to the end of the operating agreement in July of next year. Okay. So a lot of people don't know exactly the lineage of what happened. Okay. eBay and PayPal did their separation. They did their big one in 2015. And when that happened, we watched the value of eBay go this way and the value of PayPal go this way. It was just like these charts up here. Okay. It looked just like this in 2015. But imagine if that PayPal one just went up like another 2 or 3 screens worth of space. Okay. PayPal stock surged when that happened. And when that happened, it was really interesting too. Because if we go back to that time, we have to remember eBay was essentially the bad guy and PayPal was the good guy. PayPal didn't necessarily want this to happen, but eBay had other ideas and other visions at the time. And now we have this really interesting operating agreement going on now that we've seen Adyen coming into the scene, was about 2 years ago. They have this agreement in place where eBay is only allowed to do so much on managed payments. And they really kind of disguised it. And they said, hey, we're going to do this great thing for you as sellers. We're bringing managed payments to the platform. You're going to be able to make more money. We're not letting everyone do it. Okay, we're only going to let some of you do it. And they really tried to sell the sizzle and not the steak. But the reality was they were only allowed to have 5% of their volume come through there. Right now, they're only allowed to have 10% of their volume come through there. Now, when PayPal CEO was asked to speak on this in regards to this, because the shares took a little bit of hurt the day that it happened, 6.5% down when Adyen was announced for eBay, that the day that happened. he got on air and said, he's like, I don't want there to be any confusion here. Okay. eBay makes up a very small fractional percentage of the total amount of volume that we do. And that's when I started doing a little bit more digging. And I said, well, who made this agreement and who does it benefit? Why was it done this way? And you know what I learned? I learned that PayPal did this as essentially a courtesy to eBay. And I don't know if it's because, they're buddy-buddy and they go back so far, but in that agreement, PayPal was not allowed to sign up as a primary payment processor for another e-commerce brand. Okay. And that's why you don't see PayPal on Amazon. That's why you don't see PayPal on Mercari. That's why you don't see PayPal on, your popular platforms. They're not supposed to, at least as far as I know. Now, don't quote me too hard. I don't use Etsy. I don't use Mercari, I don't use Posh. I don't use Ruby Lane. As far as I know, as far as being the back end payment processor, maybe not you can pay with this, but the one that is actually running the payments on the back end, that's part of the operating agreement. So they actually did a giant favor to eBay. Now, within our group, and we've talked about our group before on Facebook, if you haven't joined it, please join it. Okay, we'll get the link tossed up in the comments. Donna Swierczewski, Swierczewski. There's 2 W's, a K, and a Z in there. Forgive me if I get it wrong. She left a comment on one of my pieces regarding, and here's the thing, Mindy. Mindy left a comment and said that they are on PayPal. They are not technically looking at Prairie Grit as a marketplace, as far as I know. They're not fully actually integrated with Prairie Grit. Now, if you want additional details, I don't want to get sued by Sean by saying too much regarding that. So if you want details regarding the relationship with PayPal and Prairie Grit, you can certainly look into that, but it's not in the same style or vein of a relationship in the way that you see it with eBay or the way it's historically been with eBay. It's essentially, it's no different than if I created a website and then I create a pay with PayPal button and slapped it on my page. That doesn't mean that PayPal is officially affiliated with another marketplace just because I sell items online. So I just want to clear that up a little bit. She left a comment that I found to be very, very interesting that required me even to do a little bit more research. And she said there's one additional option in the Elliott Management Playbook. Once the profitable pieces, StubHub and eBay Classified, have been sold off, if the stock price for eBay, the main site, starts to tank, Elliott can lead a consortium of private equity and hedge funds to take it private and own the whole thing for a bargain price. I believe Jesse Cohn of Elliott Management led the exact same process of Citrix Systems previously. So this is a tech company that was real big and had a couple of mergers. They had a merger with, I can't remember the name of the company. Do I have it written down? I think it's like InMeet, some type of conference meeting type program. Jesse Cohn was the author of the original letter from Elliott to eBay. I actually didn't read that last line from her, but holy cow. And I think that's partly why we see certain elements of the way that Jesse spoke previously regarding Citrix being echoed again in some of the statements that he's made regarding eBay, which is really, really interesting. I don't even know what you mean. Oh, marketplace facilitator. Okay. So, well, that would make some sense. So they're not actually hosting the items in any capacity. I don't know if you would consider eBay a marketplace facilitator either then. The lab sales site I'm moving to accepts PayPal only. You can only pay with credit card, but goes to a PayPal account. Yeah. So like I said, it's no different than me creating my own website, my own Shopify, taking PayPal payments. It wouldn't make me an official, marketplace site that has, PayPal as its payment provider, so to speak. I have another few things here. It says Elliott in June said Citrix should sell some units, cut costs, and buy back shares to make up for 6 years of underperformance. The activist said at the time that a spinoff of the unit would allow Citrix to focus on its core operations. The move also makes it easier for private equity firms to digest a Citrix acquisition. And after breaking off, the company was called GoTo and other businesses, Citrix, quote unquote, presents a lot cleaner of a story to buyers. My take on it personally, sell off the assets. Okay. If eBay is ever going to be a successful e-commerce brand, they need to stop worrying about other things. Okay. And I think that's, again, back to the analogy of the restaurant. If you were working at that restaurant and the boss said like, hey, your revenue's down. I have to take money out of your paycheck. We're not doing anything really creative or new to try and get more customers in. But hey, I own a movie theater, and that movie theater is making money. Okay, but no, the movie theater is making great money. That is a standalone company. We're doing fantastic over there. That doesn't help me any. Doesn't help it. Maybe take some of the profits from there and drive them into my company. You think you could do that? Oh, no. That's its own thing. That is its own brand, but it is doing great. What else did I write here? Yeah, there's a lot of things that have happened within this little period of time, from payments to alternative forms of monetization to merchandising, all being mentioned. Okay. And they even said, we remain very excited about our first party advertising. Still, it irks me when they cling on to this, the excitement that they're going to be making their $1 billion. And originally, before it even came out, you have to really dig to find these audio clips. They said they wanted to make $2 billion on first party advertising, which means that if you look at what they consider to be trending rate, they peg that at 7%. Okay. At some point in time, they were probably expecting people to be willing to pay 14% if they planned on making $2 billion, that, or they were hoping for higher levels of adoption. So I guess, what do we do? Okay. What do we do with that? And then when they speak of things and they say it this way, they say alternative forms of monetization. And what would you think about that? If I came to you and I said, hey, this channel's doing good, but I'm going to look into some alternative forms of monetization. Okay. I know some creators out there, they actually charge per episode. I think they charge $9 to be able to sit in on one of their podcasts. And I'll be frank, I don't watch their content. It's not good. And I also would never pay $9 to be able to watch somebody's, 30-minute or 1 hour show. But there's a lot of ways to reach the end goal. And I don't think they're doing it the correct way. And that's partly why I put together this little bit. Okay. This little thing I want to essentially address shareholders. That's who I really want to talk to in this, because they have a very unique opportunity to ask some hard questions and get real answers. I feel there's some key things that eBay is missing that could really fix the platform. And some key things that if I was on the board and I had an opportunity to speak, or if I had a chance to pick up that phone and be a part of those calls, or if I just had, God, give me 1 hour to sit down with some serious decision makers there, some people that can actually, take money and apply it and start making things happen. Okay. The first thing that really irks me about eBay is they have simply failed to effectively brand the site. And I know you've heard me mention this over and over, but look back on eBay historically. What was eBay? eBay was the yard sale site. It was the flea market site. It was the auction site. It was the place to go when you couldn't find what you were looking for. It's where you went when your town didn't have a photo store. Your town didn't have a video game store. Your town didn't get such and such item at the grocery store and you still wanted to eat one. Okay? There is no identity. And when we don't have identity and we see a brand that's kind of stuck in limbo, we as sellers don't know who we're selling to. Okay? And sellers don't know who they're buying from. The number of times that people think when they contact me, they're contacting eBay is disgusting. Okay? When people think that I am the complaints department for eBay, I get emails. What do I need to do to be, to be able to speak to your supervisor, speak to your boss? And I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Really? Okay. And it was extra funny when I owned the game store too. You are hired. Final value fees. Yeah. People are talking about the fees. Now here's the thing. Okay. I don't think 10% is that bad. I'm fine paying 10%. Don't charge me on the front end too though. Okay. Because it used to be a nickel. Nobody cared. Yeah, sure. You're indexing my listing. You're holding my pictures. This was back when data storage was expensive. Hosting was expensive. Now it's essentially pennies on the dollar. Okay, but like I said, if we don't know who we're selling to and people don't know who they're buying from, it creates this very confusing environment to be a part of. Let's look at other sites. Who are we selling to on Mercari? Millennials, Gen Z. We know who's buying and we know who's selling. We can tell by the overall look and the theme of the items that are on the site. We know what's going on there. Okay. Posh. Okay. We're buying and selling clothes. Everything from really run down, distressed vintage, all the way up to really, really high-end Gucci and Prada, Versace, high-end brands. Look at Etsy. It's all handmade goods. A little bit of other, stuff that kind of trickles in there. Look at Ruby Lane. It's antiques and collectibles. Look at Amazon. It's consumer goods. Okay. For the most part. We know what these brands are set out to do. They have a clear and defined vision for who their sellers are and who their buyers are. Okay? They have that information. eBay, it feels like a train wreck sometimes. Okay? And frankly, you can't make smart business decisions if you don't really know who you're selling to. I've never felt like my customers were static. I never felt like I had a good beat on it. It was almost too far all over the place. And the problem is when you try and make everyone happy, you make no one happy. And I feel like that's what we've been seeing a lot of here on the platform. The next thing, stop charging us so much money. Honestly. And I know I sound kind of whiny about it, okay? But here's the thing, okay? You've been running third-party ads for the longest time. Tell me why I need to see an ad for the SPCA on a listing for glassware. Tell me why. Okay. Remember when Devin Wenig said we want to monetize every pixel on every screen? We want to make money with all of it. Well, that's what they've been doing. Now, here's the thing. Okay. You're already running ads for companies I don't care about. Okay. It makes the site look heinous. It's disgusting being on that site. Okay. I go to Amazon. What do I see ads for? I see ads for items on the site. Other things that I actually might want to buy, things that I might actually bundle together, and they work and they're effective. It's like, hey, you buying some new pillows? These are pretty expensive pillows. How would you like, you're getting 6 pillows? You need 6 pillowcases? We'll get you 6 pillowcases for $14.99. Wonderful. I will take them. And you're going to ship them for free because I've already spent $35? Brilliant. Okay. The site just works over there. And I understand it's not pretty, but eBay it's hideous, okay? It's a really, really dated engine. The way that they're making that site operate, it's slow, it's clunky, it's flawed. And I understand it would cost millions and millions of dollars to revamp it. But if you're going to charge us to advertise on the site, okay? I only want to be competing against other sellers. I don't want to compete against brands. I don't want to compete against stores. I don't want to compete against stores on the site, Nike and Reebok and Adidas. I don't want to compete against them, okay? Because we're not competing on a level playing field. Make the site beautiful and make the site work. Make it a visual and fun shopping experience again. There's no reason why it can't be that way. My comments aren't moving. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me look at some of these really quick. Pay-per-click will be devastating. Pay-per-click will be the end of eBay. I'm going to say that right now. You can at least lock your search to eBay to USA only now. And that is actually my third point that I'm going to be getting to. I'm going to cover that here in a second. Pat says he has to communicate with his customers on every one of his items that he's selling because there's so much information that has to be gotten correctly. I completely agree with that. eBay is not advertising enough to the public to build and strengthen the brand. They've actually said they don't need to anymore. They said that we are reducing our third-party ad spend, which doesn't just mean, what they're doing online. We're talking online, print, radio, classifieds, whatever. They are spending somewhere in the area of, I believe, 60 to 70% less money on advertising currently. So where is our money going? Our money is going to pay down their debt. Our money is going to pay for shareholders. Our money is going to acquire new sellers internationally. Okay, they're not getting much more value out of here. Not here in America. It's not happening anymore. The tides are turning. Okay, and they need to start looking in other directions. Yes, pay-per-click, Q1, Q2. Yeah, that's the same thing that I gathered. I actually got an opportunity to talk with a managed payment specialist. And Shazad, when you get new information, because I know you're going to probably get information before I do, I really hope you come to us. And we're always looking for news stories. And, if you happen to come across some information that might not be on the internet yet, and you would like to present it to us to help us out with what we're doing so we can inform the masses, we would truly appreciate that as well. Donna, she asked, why is pay-per-click such a big problem? Well, the problem is right now is that we're paying to list an item, we're paying to sell the item, we're paying more visibility to be able to have the item seen. And with pay-per-click, you're going to have scores of people paying for paid visibility advertising who have never done it before. Okay. And let's say you have Joe Blow seller. He does $1,000 a month online. He's enjoying what he's doing. He's been recently a little bit upset with eBay. Okay. Because his sales are down. They're down dramatically. They're down 50%. And a lot of you out there, you even know, because, in the terms of stocks, we have a buy, we have a sell, and we have a hold. Okay. Right now, our numbers are down as a whole. Okay. And everyone's just kind of in this hold position right now. We don't necessarily think it's going to get better. We don't think it's necessarily going to get worse right away. We're kind of in this hold. And before, I've historically said that if your store is doing well, you're going to sell about 1% of your inventory every day. And this was based on standard economics. This was based on industry averages. This was real empirical data. I've pulled back on that. And I said that if you're selling on eBay, you're going to be doing okay if you're selling 0.5% of your inventory every day. Meaning, if you have, 1,000 items online, you should be selling 5 items a day average. Now, some of you are going to do more if you have a high velocity category. Some of you are going to be doing less if you have a low velocity category. But if you have a mix, you should be expecting 5 items a day. Okay. Now, if we add in a situation where we have a seller who is now down selling half as much stuff, and you say, hey, check this out. You liked promoted listings, right? You made money with promoted listings. We showed your listings to more people, and because of that, you made more money. Okay. We've got a new thing coming out. It's called cost per click or pay per click. Give us $50 and we'll show your item to 10,000 people. Okay. Now that's about average. If you're doing visibility clicks on Google, if you're doing them on YouTube, one and the same, or if you're doing them on Facebook, you can expect that amount of reach for about $50. And the seller who's made $500, over the last month looks at it and says, well, I really need to sell some more items. So you know what? I'll go ahead and spend that money on my most expensive items, the items that are getting stuck in people's carts right now. And they spend this money and nothing happens. Like, well, 10,000 impressions and no one bought it? How? How did this happen? Because people don't understand the difference between impressions and views. And they also don't understand the value of a click and the actual conversion rates and how those actually work. People think that, 10,000 impressions is going to be enough to move an item that's incorrectly priced. Okay. Or they think that their sponsored listing, if they have a listing and it's, those Tokidokis are a great example, top shelf there. Okay. Tokidokis are worth about $80. I see a lot of them promoted at $129.99, and they feel that because they're promoting it, oh, that's going to make it sell. It's really not. And the same thing with cost pay per click. If it's being done incorrectly and done ineffectively, that money's going to be gone. And what happens when you have a seller who's desperate and they're spending their money and they're trying to make this happen and they lose, they try again and they lose. And now you start getting a really, really jaded community. We already have a problem with eBay and the bad image that it has. I guarantee you that if you put up a post on Facebook right now and say, has anyone here been scammed on eBay? You will get dozens of responses from people. Oh yeah, no, I've totally been scammed by eBay. They wouldn't do anything about it. Couldn't get my money back. Nobody there would help me. I lost my item and I lost my money. Think about the perspective and the image that's going to come from people feeling like they've been robbed because they don't understand pay-per-click advertising and how it works and how you can get no results if it's not done correctly. That's the fear that I have, that we'll see an exodus of sellers from the platform. And we already have a problem retaining great sellers. They're leaving every day. Some of them are moving to traditional retail. Some of them are moving to other platforms. We're losing our best sellers, our assets. The one thing that makes eBay unique is these unique items that people like myself are willing to bring to the platform. No one gives two shits about screen protectors and cell phone cases and replacement batteries. None of that matters. Okay? It's the truly unique things that makes eBay special. And the fact that those items are leaving the site, what's going to be the purpose of going there anymore? And that's why we talk about diversification so much. And here's the thing, even if you don't have intent on using pay-per-click, okay, your competitors do. Same thing with promoted listings. So what if it does work for them? What if you have to play ball? What if we just see the entire site weaken because your competitors are using it and failing and leaving? Okay. As much as people say, you know, they don't like their competitors, they don't like have to fight over pricing in the race to the bottom, your competitors bringing great items to the site is what keeps the site valuable and allows you to sell your items. I am thrilled when I can help somebody be successful on eBay. And people say, well, you're just eating into your own margins. Every time you help somebody, it's costing you money. No, I'm making money. I would love it if more people bought great items like the nonsense tat that I put online every single day. Okay, let me see what Shazad said. Somebody's complimenting him here. Promoted listings is a conversion rate tax. Pay-per-clicks is a tax on click-through. Yep, 100%. So here's the thing. We already don't trust promoted listings. We don't believe that we're actually getting the velocity, and we don't believe or have any way to empirically prove that what they say is happening is actually happening. How do you think we're going to feel about the cost per click or the pay per click? How are we going to feel about that if we can't prove it? People are going to say, well, I spent $100 on pay per click. It got seen and clicked on 500 times. And you mean to tell me no one bought it? Yeah, no, that's what I'm going to tell you. But how do we prove that? Okay. People are going to be freaking pitchforks and sticks covered in fire running down the street over this. $37% is insane. I can only assume that you're getting docked with that extra 4%, and then you're also getting docked because you're selling industrial. Guys, so on this topic, okay, the last thing I want to touch on is something that Mindy already touched on already. Why is eBay so, not only is it ugly, it's a heinous looking site, why is it not optimized for the American market? Any other e-commerce site you go to, Go to Amazon in India, okay? It is optimized for that market, okay? You want to buy Indian goods from India? Hey, not a problem at all. Why can't we make it so that American buyers and sellers who want to interact with other American buyers and sellers are able to do that? Why is it so hard? Now, Mindy, you said, yes, I clicked the option on the side. I shouldn't have to, okay? It should be a default for me, you know? It should be, I'm only seeing American goods, and then it should be an extended search. Oh, here's some other items outside of your area. Okay. Where's the catalog that actually makes sense? I don't need to see 3 million iPhone 11 Max covers right now. Okay. How does anyone utilize that? How does that help anyone at all? 3 million listings for the same type of item. Now, I'm not saying that we need to systematically go through and boot out every single seller, because that's not going to work. Okay. It's simply not. And I know eBay is already omitting listings, but they're not doing it aggressively enough. Okay. You know, a quick solution, make it a lottery. Simple as that. Okay. If one image on the site is uploaded and it's the exact same image 50,000 times over. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. When a customer searches for it, if you win the lottery, you're going to be the one that we display. And we're just going to, every single 50,000 rotations, you're going to have a chance to be up. Okay. And if somebody buys it on that rotation, great. But we're not going to show 49,999 more of this exact same item. Okay. Get rid of ranged prices, 99 cents to $273. Okay. It creates a poor buying experience. And here's the thing, guys. You know, I could stay on this topic for hours. Easily hours I could stay on this topic, but it's not going to change anything. Okay. If you know somebody at eBay, if you have access and you have reach, tell them we're not angry. We're not angry for the reasons they think we're angry. We want the site to work. We want eBay to succeed. We want to help them. Shit. I'll be happy to give you my money. I'll pay more money. Okay. I'll give you 20% of everything I do. Just make it better. Okay? Make the site work. Make it a beautiful site and a great experience. Make it great for sellers. Make it great for buyers. Don't put your special features behind a paywall. Okay? It is unfair that I get concierge service just for going to eBay Open. Okay? And there's a lot to concierge. A lot of people don't know. I can pick up my phone right now and I could speak with an American representative okay, here in the States that speaks English in under 60 seconds. And it's not that they just speak English. They're happy to talk to me. And I get a survey after every single call asking how my experience was with their name and with a field to fill in stuff and, give actual feedback back to the person that I spoke with. And if I ask them to email me stuff, they'll send me an email with the details I need on something. If I have a negative feedback, this is something I never thought I would say on air. I can ask them to take it off. And they'll do it. It's a courtesy. They'll look at the situation. Oh, we can see here that you tried to work it out with the customer. Okay, not a problem. We'll go ahead and get that taken off for you. And it's not in 24 or 48 hours. It's instant. It is gone off my account instantly. Okay? That isn't fair. That should be available to every single person here in America that sells. If you have $6 billion extra dollars that you use to pay down debt, build a legitimate call center for your sellers. Tell them that they care and show them that they care as well. Okay? There's no reason it needs to be this way. Okay? The writing's on the wall, guys. Is eBay going to fail? 100%. When? Don't know yet. Okay? But if I was a gambling man, 5 years. Okay? That's where I'm at. And that's why I say it's so important to look into diversification. Mercari is in a very, very unique position to sweep right now. Okay. Or if another competitor comes to the table, a legitimate, valid competitor that has deep pockets that wants to make a run at this market, they could totally do this as well. But Mercari is where I'm putting my money at right now. I'm putting a buy on Mercari right now as a strong recommendation for everyone who's been selling online to diversify and diversify now. If you do nothing else other than download the app and create your account in 2019, get your 2019 badge on your account. Even if you have no intention on starting to sell today, you don't have to provide a credit card number, social security number, none of that. Go make your account today. Download the app from the App Store, Apple and Android. Get your account created. Just lock in your 2019 badge before the end of the year. I was smart. I didn't talk about this before. I have a 2015 badge. I made an account when the app first came out. It's not really helping me yet, but here's the thing, guys. Start selling some small items on there. Start building up an account. $10, $15, nonsense yard sale lots, whatever you want to do. Get a couple of feedback, get a couple of good, they have a fast responder, they have accurate shipping, whatever it might be. Get a couple of badges on your account, make it look good, and be prepared for the switch. Because right now we talk about eBay all the time. Okay. But I can promise you, as the show starts to evolve, we're going to be talking more about Posh, more about Etsy, more about Mercari. Okay. And maybe even Ruby Lane. Okay. But speaking of which, yes, we got more news for you. And Sublime, thank you for that vow of confidence there. Guys, do you hear about these charlatans? Oh my God. These guys up here in the corner. I know that's why some of you are here waiting. You wanted to see if you knew who it was. Has anyone here worked with any of these coaches before on Amazon? Let me look at some of these comments here really quick. And thank you for listening to my conjecture. I do appreciate that. Guys, don't forget we're raising money for Team Trees tonight, a YouTube backed program to try and plant 20 million trees by the end of 2020. And if you think that's far-fetched, Pam, what are we at so far? I don't know if we can visit the teamtrees.org website. I think it's over $8 million raised within the last 48 hours. So this is really an initiative that's going to happen. It's not a matter of if the $20 million goal is going to get hit. And me being a creator who cares about YouTube, because YouTube cares about me, theoretically, more than eBay does, I feel I'm doing my part. So all the money that we raise tonight, including all of the ad revenue that we get from this video being played, 100% of it's going to get donated to Team Trees, and I will be covering the gap on fees up to the first $100. So if you'd like to donate even $1 to plant a tree tonight, now I want you to keep in mind, okay, we still have the wildfires happening let me go full screen here. We still have the wildfires happening in South America right now. Our Amazon jungle is being destroyed at a ridiculous rate. And the leader, I can't remember the guy's name. It's not even worth remembering. Do you know what his comment was regarding global warming? And he said, the trees don't matter. People, they poop every day, and they could just learn to poop every other day. That was his honest to God public statement regarding greenhouse effects and the fact that we're losing all of this forest. Okay. So if you want to ensure that we have a planet for our kids here in the future, okay, consider donating $1 so we can plant some more darn trees already. Okay. So enough of that. And you can also donate. There's a PayPal going across. If you do the PayPal, 100% of the donation is going to go straight to them and I won't have to pay any fees. Or it's jaysgameshack@yahoo.com, and just send me a message so that I know that you did donate. Now, I've spoken here on the show before about courses, and I even had somebody, thank you, Future Fortunes, great cause, $5 to the trees. I appreciate that greatly, buddy. And I'll send you a personal thank you later as well. So we talked before on air about training programs, and we said they're not all equal. Okay. And I even had somebody message me before the show. I was talking with her and she even mentioned I could use some more Bolos. Okay. And we do give out Bolos. We dispense them in our group chat, and, we'll even post up things on our secondary page. But I said, we don't do Bolo list because Bolo lists are a scam. And honest to God, anyone, how much have they raised? They have raised $5.2 million so far, directly donated, and that's the money that's going to the Arbor Day Foundation. Now, if you go to if you could go to Mr. Beast video regarding Team Trees, you'll see that there's a secondary donation. I think that one's over 8 million already as well. Give me one second, guys. So, last time I'm going to start this sentence, okay? Not all programs are made equal. We do not do Bolo lists because Bolo lists are a scam. Okay. Anyone who sells you a Bolo list is a charlatan, and they shouldn't feel good about what they're doing. Because I can make you a Bolo list in 15 minutes. Okay, if you want one. You want one for board games? Cool. Go to board games on eBay, price plus shipping highest first, jot down the first 50 board games that you see, and go ahead and give me $29.99. And you want a new one next month? Yeah, I'll do the exact same thing and I'll do minor adjustments to it. Oh, you want one for home goods? Okay, cool. Home goods. Type it in. Okay, it's not hard to make one. I'll even make one live for you guys sometime if you want. Bolo lists are a scam. And you should never pay for one. If you have paid for one, I apologize, okay? But just be mindful of the people who sell them. And be mindful of these two up here. These little hucksters, Michael Gazzola, pictured there closest to me, and Matthew Beju, pictured over there on the right. And they're best known for their Amazon Secrets website, aka AZ or AMZsecrets.net, okay? They're being sued by Amazon right now. And partly because they've been selling courses and seminars and programs ranging anywhere between $4,000 to $25,000 for anywhere between a 3-month program to as far down as a 3-day seminar. And what these coaches were teaching you is how to make passive income on Amazon. Now, is there people out there generating passive income on Amazon right now? 100%. Definitely. These people exist, okay? But there's a lot of people who are doing it legitimately, a lot of people who have done it the long way and the hard way, okay? Oh, yes, real quick, too. Richard just put a link in the description or in the comments. That's our new Mercari group. We'll talk about that here in a second, though. So there are people making this passive income the correct way. Now, what they've done, though, is they've kind of screwed with the system a little bit. And they've done a little bit of Amazon manipulation. And they've done it in two ways. On the first end, not only by branding their company, but by branding their site and the way that they had given off the impression that they somehow worked with Amazon. Okay. Even when I do my shows, I have to tell people, when I did one of my interviews and I was suited up and I'm like, I'm not a representative of eBay. I'm not an agent of eBay. We are, completely standalone. And they did everything in their power to give the illusion that they were a part of Amazon. They also added in a little bit of a scheme to what they were doing, and they were manipulating reviews on Amazon. We're talking about telling people to go to the items and actually rank the items up by purchasing the item. It's telling people, go purchase this item. Once you get it, leave a review. And once you do leave a review, we're going to refund you. But we're not going to refund you through Amazon because Amazon's going to notice us. We're going to refund you through Venmo or PayPal. Now, there's other companies doing this. There's a lot of companies doing this. And this review manipulation goes directly against their terms of service. Now, here domestically, when these types of things happen, we've talked about this before. We had Riverbend Consulting on. You can lose your account for these types of actions. And once you lose an account on Amazon, the odds of getting another one are slim to almost impossible. Now, the problem, though, is in China and Japan and Hong Kong. They have really, really good tech when it comes to being able to disguise IPs, when it comes to being able to create multiple accounts. I even watched a video shot by Vice talking about a gentleman who calls himself the Amazon professor. This guy legitimately understands some of the things that he's talking about, though. And this Amazon professor was talking about the first thing that we do is we try and knock our competitors' items off the site. And then the next thing we do is we have to generate reviews. We have to get these reviews in. I even had somebody contact me once, okay, and ask for help restoring their PayPal account because they had sold their services of Amazon reviews to somebody else for $15,000. Okay, did the job, okay, sent out refunds to all of these people, and then the original person opened up a chargeback claim against them. And they had that account seized for $15,000 worth of negative debt, okay, which went against his balance, plus an additional $10,000 that he had in that account, plus his secondary account that had $22,000 inside of it. And he reached out to me to speak with me regarding my services and what I could do to relinquish his account back to him. Now, I felt wholly capable of releasing his account back to him, but the stubborn guy that he was didn't want to pay the necessary money to get those services done. But you shouldn't be doing illegal stuff like that, or those things are going to happen, especially when we're talking about people doing it at this scale. So what these people were doing is they were telling them, come join our program. Get rich quick with us, guys. Get rich now. We're going to get you paired up with Chinese distributors. We're going to help you locate items. You're going to be able to place your first order with this item. We're going to get it onto Amazon for you. And then we're going to help you generate these reviews. We're going to teach you the companies to work with, generate all these fake reviews, and we're going to move your item up to the first page. And then guess what? Sit back. You're going to be making your passive income and get ready to buy your next item. Okay. But the reality was that wasn't happening. Okay. And we've talked before about the influx of garbage items that have been showing up at the swap meets, especially here in California. Believe it or not, I'm diving deeper down that rabbit hole, and I'm visiting a warehouse this Friday, and I plan to be cameraed up and get some footage and actually see the pallets come off the truck. It's going to be a little bit wild. I don't know how much I'm going to be able to get away with, but I'm going to certainly try. There's a lot of things that I try and do, guys. I swear to you, if I had more money from doing this, the amount of things that I would do would be insane. You guys ever watch Louder with Crowder? My goal is to make my production as good as that. And we're going to talk a little bit more about production and scaling and stuff like that down the line. But I know I'm going on a tangent here, which I have a tendency to do. So they're buying these horrible items, and then these items aren't converting. Okay? That's the biggest problem. I have some quotes here. This program cost the couple of Jordan McDowell and William Bork their life savings. Over $40K invested after paying a $4K coaching session fee to learn how to source from China and sell on Amazon. After sourcing wine aerators, okay, when was the last time you bought a wine aerator and wanted to flip it out online for a profit? That's my first red flag. Okay, I can't even imagine making a profit on free wine aerators. If I was given them at no cost, I can't even imagine one in my head that would be worth the effort of buying and trying to sell them. Okay. After sourcing wine aerators and decanters from China, learning about storage fees, paying for promotions, having the coaches essentially abandon them, then they ended up having to auction off the rest. And a quote from them, they said, "It's not a passive income. It's a ton of work. We lost our life savings and everything we had. They soon discovered their help was surface level and how to get going. But once they dove in, they learned that these people had no real knowledge or experience on how to get the real hard stuff done." This is so important. This isn't just to pat myself on the back. There is a massive, massive gap between the skill set of certain people and then the people who truly know how to get the job done. Okay, there's people that are charging right now who have been selling on Amazon for 6 months. Okay, and she charges for her program. There's another guy who's been selling on eBay for only 9 months. Okay, and charges for his program, who have no idea the complexity and depth of information that you need to know to truly be successful within this field and to be able to help others be successful within this field. In their defense, they have lots to say about understanding the markets, understanding risk, understanding that they don't control how the algorithms work, changes to the sites, removal of all of those reviews, as well as increases in storage fees and other costs. This is the thing, okay? When we're operating on razor-thin margins, things like shipping costs, things like storage fees, things, just other associative fees really will destroy you when they happen. Because not only were these guys making money for the contacts, okay, the people that they were working with, they were taking a cut on that transactional level too, because you have people that are brand new to wholesale. Okay. Oh, these wine aerators that sell for $19.99, you're offering them to me for only $4.50 a piece. But if I called in and I, went through an Alibaba agent and, I negotiated and I worked hard and cut out all the middlemen, I'm probably able to get them for 23 or 24 cents a pop for these brand new and retail packaging wine aerators. So they're making thousands of dollars on the sign up, thousands of dollars on the rub, thousands of dollars on their seminar, and Amazon got tired of it because they saw not only all these, garbage items that were coming to the site, they saw thousands of reviews that were coming to the site that were fraudulent as well. And what happens? You have a really good item, or maybe even not a good item. You've manipulated the system and you move that item all the way up. And then what ends up happening is you said that all of the reviews got removed. And instead of selling your 10 or 15 items that you were selling each day, you end up only selling one a week at that point because you're on the third or fourth page. You've lost all the value that listing had that you artificially created in the first place. Guys, I have to stress this, okay? Not all fish are equal, okay? I mean that. Give a man a fish, not all fish are equal. Here, however, our fish are free. We just ask that you pay what you can pay. If I've managed to fill your belly, and I've managed to teach you new concepts, and you've enjoyed the delicious meal that I've laid out for you, then help us out and allow us to be able to help others out, okay? Because here, we don't give away fishes, but we teach you to fish. We teach you the tools and fundamentals and things that you need to know to be able to go out there and be successful with what you're doing, because it's important. A list only helps you the moment that you're in front of a shelf of board games, okay? But learning how to look at a shelf of board games and how to value them and identify the ones that are worth money and save yourself time and headaches and to be able to evaluate it once you have it in front of you and open, that's what's going to create the long-term wealth. No one here is suggesting that you need to make $100,000, $150,000, $250,000 a year. That's not what we're here for. And if you are, salute, I congratulate you, okay? We're here for the everyday seller. We're here to teach you how to make $20,000 to maybe $80,000, $90,000 a year, whatever your comfy zone is. Some of you are only making $5,000 a year because you only want or need to make $5,000 a year. Okay. But if the process is working for you and you enjoy, keep going at it. Okay. But just be careful. And I must stress this. Be careful where you get your help from. There's a lot of bad help out there. One of the attendees for their seminar said there's a little bit of deceit to it. They're making it out to be a lot easier than it is. I don't even know if they really know what they're doing. Okay. That's the thing about it. What I do, yeah, sure, it can seem easy. And I'm going to elaborate on that further later. But there's a lot of work that happens. A lot of it that people don't see. Okay. There's a good reason why I don't have 10 internet secrets to make you rich, or one secret that you can do right now, or here is my get rich plan for eBay or Amazon or Posh or Mercari. And anyone who says that is a huckster, because it simply doesn't exist. It's not there. Okay. There is no quick money when it comes to e-commerce sales. Can you get lucky? Sure. Of course. If you have a contact, a vendor, you stumble into some insane buy, sure. But for the average everyday person, there is no shortcuts. You got to learn the process. And it's a long one sometimes. The last part of this, why they really got some pushback from Amazon, is I did some independent research, and I learned that this brand was also working and operating as an MLM. And in some elements, looking more like a Ponzi or possibly even a pyramid scheme as well, because there was more of an effort to try and recruit more people to be a part of this program and less so much for those people to actually sell on Amazon and be successful. Let's take a look at some of these comments, guys. I suspect the same thing is going on with all the name brand wholesale courses I see, like getting wholesale accounts from big US manufacturers is a piece of the cake for online sellers. 100%. Yeah, and I understand some people are, and I think we're kind of seeing the tail end of the, work with us, we'll get you ungated in all of these categories, and then you can start selling these big brand name, high end, gobbledygook type items. Sure, it's going to work for some of you. And I even told somebody today, there's 1,000 ways to make $1,000 a week. Okay, you don't have to do this one. This is just the one that I enjoy. If you enjoy it too, great. I know some of you watch me every week and don't even sell online. And I appreciate you being here, obviously, but I hope one day you pull the trigger. Went to Kmart this weekend. Didn't even know we had any more left to hopefully get some stock for FBA. Prices are outrageous for liquidation. They raised them to only say that you're getting a deal. Yep. No, Pat and Shazad, you guys are not everyday resellers, but we're happy to have you. Yeah, beware of consultants too, guys. We talked about Amazon Consulting and Riverbend Consulting. They're a very reputable company that I'm happy to, say that I have positive experiences with them. But small-time consultants, stay away from them, okay? Anyone who offers to look at your store, okay? And I know there's people right now on YouTube who have less than a year of experience on eBay who are offering to look at people's stores, laugh in their face. They don't have a damn clue what they're talking about, and they're going to do more damage than good, okay? Remember, cheap advice is not good, and good advice is not cheap, okay? There's a reason why certain things cost a premium, but I'll review anyone's store at any time. If you genuinely need help, come to me. I want to help you. That is why I am here, okay? What else do we got going on? Real quick, I want to stop and mention, last week we talked about the Mercari group that was going to be getting created. Now, Richard Eberhardt, he's gone to great lengths. Him and Pam have worked together to be able to create the brand new Mercari Lounge. We're still fleshing out the name, okay? And Richard, if you don't mind putting a link up right now, what we can do is if you'd like to go join the group, we'd love to have you completely free. If you're somebody who's been selling on Mercari for years or somebody who's just thinking about it, we strongly encourage you to go there. Now, this group is a sister group to the Bolo RAMA group, and we are planning on an expansion to probably about 5 groups by the end of 2020, where you can go to speak about your specific selling platform that you're working with. Okay, we may even do one for the marketplace, but we're working on graphics and admins and everything that needs to happen. If you'd like to be a part of this planned rollout, please reach out to us. This is simply an effort to be able to make available fact-based and fact-checked information to those who need it for those who are unable to get it. Again, all of our groups are completely free to be a part of. We never charge anything to be a member of our group. We never charge to ask for help or anything like that within our group. We just have the extra Patreon if you would like to help support the cause. I'll go and throw a link down into the comments as well, but please check out that Mercari Bolo group. Now, in tiny bits, guys, because we have a smidge bit of news. Let me see if this works. There we go. Small stories and developing stories, what everyone is going to be talking about on YouTube this week, because they know I'm going to get to it next Sunday. Let's talk about tiny bits. Former eBay CEO John Donahoe, who left in 2015 before Devin Wenig took over, is now going to be the CEO of Nike after years of experience on their board, as well as eBay and PayPal's board. He's still actually on the PayPal board right now. Nike said in their response, they said his expertise in digital commerce, technology, global strategy, and leadership, combined with his strong relationship with the brand, make him ideally suited to accelerate our digital transformation and to build on the positive impact of our customer direct offense. Cool. Nike is like Teflon. Nothing at all seems to stick to them. They have gone through one story after the next of just things that I thought, were going to really destroy them, screw with their stock market price. They're going to have to jump out and make a statement. They're going to have to do something about it. Nope. Nothing at all. Nothing seems to rattle this brand, and they're going to be taking him on, and kudos to them. Hopefully he can get something done. I don't know much about the guy because I wasn't really doing news back in 2015. It's I started right after he left. On top of that, Amazon sellers are having issues with repricers as well as issues with overactive listings or overactive bots pulling listings from their stores. Now, I've had issues with this forever because there's often times where I have items where I'm setting the pace, and Amazon really does not like you setting the pace. They would really prefer if you sold your items for less money. That being said, people with things like signed books or limited edition jackets and stuff like that, they've noticed they've been having problems. Be mindful of it. Make sure you set your limits and your minimum so that way you don't have those things happening to you. We're going to dig more into it over the next week and see what we're going to be able to come up with. Yeah, that's all the news for this week. Yeah, let's go in and get this. Let's get this tighter on me. There we go. Guys, we're going to take a look at some pickups this week. I only have 5 items for you. I know. I'm an absolute failure of a reseller. I only got 5 items. What if I told you I'm going to make over $500? Is that okay? Are we good? We good, fam? Yeah, let's take a look at some of these items that I got. The first one, oh boy, is it exciting. Whew. Guys, nothing makes me happier than seeing a stack of Solo 250 count disposable paper funnels. Am I right? Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. Now these are paper funnels. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, Jay, what are you doing with paper funnels? Well, I noticed when I went on the eBays that somebody had sold, I believe it was 6 boxes just like this. And they got $161. And I was like, holy cow, that's a lot of money. And I realized that they had actually marked it down to be able to get to that price point. And I walk over to the shelf and there's like 9 of them there. 9 of these boxes just sitting there. And I see the price on it. Where'd they write it on there? I just saw it a second ago. $1, okay? $1 for one of these boxes. And I walk over and I'm like, huh, cool. And I look at the guy, I'm like, hey, have any of these been opened? He's like, well, if they have, we got a whole bunch more. I'm like, really? And he pops open a case. He's like, I'd be willing to make you a deal if you took them all. I'm like, I'd be willing to listen to that deal. And he's like, well, those ones there, we can do that. I'll tell you what, and he's like stammering and he's stuck. And I look at him, I'm like, I'll tell you what, I'll give you $10 for everything. It's 19 units in total. I'm like, I'll give you $10 for everything. It's like, well, oh yeah, okay. And I could tell right then in that moment, because this was their little cubby area. One shelf said employees only, then they had a table area. And I've actually sat down with these guys before, and I talked about it on air, where I sat down with them for about 30 minutes, and I got the experience of what it was like being 70. Okay. It was really, really lovely. They talked about how the ground seems so much further away. And we just talked about the weather, and we talked about, plans on the weekend. And we were sitting in these really old chairs in the back of a thrift store for about a half hour. It was a lovely experience. They wanted their space back. Okay. It was covering up like half of their table, half of their closet. They wanted the space back. He let me buy them all for $10. So I have 19 units that I paid $10 for. And I'm projecting that I'm going to get, I don't know, somewhere in the area of $350 to $400 for all of them. Yeah, that's pretty wild. Guys, if you haven't done so yet, I noticed we got 55 people watching. We only got 24 likes. If you wouldn't mind, just like hit that like button. It really, really does help us out. And if you haven't done so yet, let me see if this is working, because we've had trouble with this. Yeah, hey, do us a favor and subscribe. We got Halloween coming up. So yeah, do that for us. Really, really help us out, because the more people that subscribe, the more people that like, it gets higher engagement, then more people get to learn about me. So yeah, cool buy. And that's one of those things, you might see something like this and you say, whatever, it's paper funnels, I don't really care. Okay. But when you see things that people actually need, is the way I look at it. Or if you see something in quantity, stop and look it up. It only takes 2 seconds. You guys remember, actually, you know what? I can't even show that item on air. I've got too many units left. I have another item that I showed within the last 6 months, and I have sold hundreds of dollars worth of them. I bought them in quantity. I've sold hundreds of dollars worth of them this week alone. Okay. And I plan on dominating the space on them. And it's of the same vein. It was a quantity item that I wouldn't have looked at otherwise, but because there were so many there, I actually went after it. Jay puts the fun in funnels. That is correct. 100%. Look at me. I got 250 party hats, guys. These are multi-purpose, year-round, seasonal items that you can sell anytime. Oh, I picked up another one of these today. These are great. VHS-C cassette adapters. And this is an item that's so easily overlooked. People don't think anything of these. This is a $30 to $40 bill used all day long. We've talked about this before. Photo stores and tech stores, they buy these things up and they use them. It's fantastic. Okay. So if you see these, make sure they're in good condition. If you get them brand new, the one that I had before, the new one, $109 sold on Amazon. $109. Most people don't realize this. Your parents probably have one of these in their VHS collection. If they have a lot of home movies, go over to their house and see if they got a couple of these bad boys. These are big, big bucks. Some of them probably even have brand new ones that they just bought extras just in case when they were cheap. They probably have them. Go find them, okay? Keep your eyes open for these things. I'll tell you what I'll do to it. I'll take it out of the box so you can see it. This is what they look like out of the box, okay? So if you see something like this, and there may even be a plate that's supposed to be here. I use that as a negotiation point. The guy, I'm like, how much for this? He says, $3. And I looked at him just stunned. I hit him with my squinters. Okay. I hit him hard with him. And he's like, what? I'm like, really? Hold on one second. I got a customer messaging me. I had a customer come by my house today. I shouldn't say customer. I had a client come by the house today. And the guy, he spent like $250 today. And last time he was here, he spent $350. So I'm going to send him a message and see what he actually wants right now, because that's important. So I use this as a negotiation point. After I hit him with the squinters, he's like, well, $2? And I'm like, really, dude? Really? I'm like, this is a very, very like specialized thing. I don't think many people are going to need it. And I opened up the box, and you can't see it from the front. Okay, that's what it looks like from the front. But from the back, it kind of looks like there's a plastic thing there. So I looked at him, and you don't ever want to lie to anyone or be dishonest. I looked at him and I said, do you have a thing that goes here? And not saying that there should be one there. And I know this seems ridiculous over $1, but I know what I wanted. I was going to pay $1. I knew that walking up. And I'm like, do you have the thing that might go here? Like, is there supposed to be something here? Because I'm not sure. And I showed him the picture on the back of it. He's like, just give me $1. I'm like, I'll do $1 for you. I'll do that. And I know it seems so nonsense to nickel and dime over small things, but $1 saved is $1 earned, and I'm not necessarily raking. And that's a tree. I can plant another tree with that $1. So the dollars matter right now. So I want to pack this away. I don't want to damage it. We only got a couple more items left, and then we have some great final thoughts on today's show. I appreciate everyone who's sticking around for that. That's a brilliant idea. A couple of pickers says, check camera bags at yard sales. They are in VHS adapters. Yes. Great idea. I didn't even think about checking cassettes for those. And when you see those camera bags too, always look for the lenses. Okay. Some of these old lenses are worth a fortune, and they're always worth looking up. And I would suggest, if you are getting heavy into the yard sale scene and cameras and stuff like that, learn about how to inspect lenses, make sure that they're not only are they moving correctly, but that there's no lens rot, there's no moisture damage, nothing like that. Good little tips to learn. Guys, I got a great item here. And if you're a patron and you need one of these, let me know. I got it for a great price. This is something that somebody's probably going to buy off me. This is a Netgear Nighthawk X4. Okay. And I have all 4 antennas that go to it. It does not have the power supply, but this unit as it sits is worth about $50, okay? And I bought it from the guy for $3. This router just came out maybe like 2 years ago. These are very, very good routers. I think they're dual band. It might be dual band. I don't know. But these are great routers for the money, for Wi-Fi antennas as well. These things will spit Wi-Fi all over your house. So if you're a patron and you need one of these, $3 plus ship. If you're a non-patron, I can offer it to you for like $40 direct. But yeah, whenever you see these, obviously you want to get them with the power supply. If you can, go ahead and test them. But I was at the swap meet. This is the best that I was able to do. He wanted 5. I offered 3. We were able to close it up. So I'm really, really pleased about that buy. Let's see what else we got. So this is one that I could actually use some help on. And I asked within group chat before buying this item, what material do you think that is right off the bat? Just by looking at that. And I don't want to put any ideas into anyone's head or anything, okay? Because, let me crack this open. There is 2 different types of poker chips in here, okay? And I'm going to show you the 2 different types. And I'm going to explain why I bought these. And you can tell me whether or not I'm an idiot or not. Okay, I paid $2. It was 50% day. 50% day at Salvation Army, which I didn't even know when I walked in there. So we got these ones, which to me look very much so standard. There's really nothing special about these from what I am seeing. And then we have these ones. Pull them out. Sorry, they're very slick. we have these ones here. These ones don't look that great. Hold on. Hold on. There we go. These ones look a little bit better. I think that there might be too much light on here to really get it. Now, I think that they're Bakelite. Okay, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I think that they're Bakelite, and somebody was telling me that I got to test it with 409 and a Q-tip and all this, that, and the other. I'm really hoping that they're Bakelite. Otherwise, I threw away $2. But I think they are, and if they are Bakelite, and if there's enough inside of each one of these, because the one of them that I got is half of these Bakelite style ones. And then these other ones, these clear ones, I just think are plain chips. Now, I haven't actually opened this one. I'm going to open this one on air with you guys right now because I have no clue what's inside of it. Are we going to play that game of where is Jay's knife? Oh, there we go. Now, remember, always cut towards yourself at chest height. Just straight in, okay? So let's see what we got inside of here. Oh, it looks awfully disappointing. See, guys, this is why we should open up items. These are just going to go straight in the trash, most likely. These are very, very basic chips. So I think I got maybe 2 stacks of Bakelite or Lucite chips. So, or 2 rows. This one's just a dud, but live and learn, I suppose. I just assumed that one would have some inside of it. So, those are my pickups. Oh, wait, no, I lied. I got one more item. This one kind of harkens back to the types of items that I had collect formerly. We got this really neat camel cobalt ashtray. Look how cool that is. It says wide one on the front, and then it also has the back of the car, too. And you can see that you're seeing the perspective of their front and their back. Very, very cool piece. Sells anywhere between $20 and $25. Again, when you see ashtrays, if you see something unique, you see something a little bit different, if you see some signed glass or something with a little bit of flair and a little bit of creativity, especially if they're smaller, definitely do your research and make some bucks on them. Whoa. Pam says the Mahjong I got the other day are hand-carved lucite uranium tiles, glow in blacklight. I lucked out. Holy cow. And Susan says, don't trash them, donate them. Unfortunately, they would end up trashed one way or the other. I don't see them reselling. You know what I'll do? We call it like put pocketing. What I'll do is I'll take this back to the store and I'll just put it on the shelf. I just won't say anything. I'll walk in the door with it, just put it right back on the shelf, let somebody else buy it, and then I'm essentially donating $2 to the store. There we go. We'll do that. So, guys, those are my pickups on the week. It's been a fantastic one, hasn't it? So, last week, before we wrapped up our show, what did we talk about? Do you guys remember? Because I know some of you guys stick around for this and some of you don't. And those of you who are leaving right now, thank you for tuning in. Those of you who are watching this in the future, please leave me a comment. I really do appreciate those comments, especially if you've never commented before. Last week, we talked about slowing down and being selfless because it's important. So I got some lip crud going on. We talked about slowing down and being selfless and how important it is. And this week, I want to talk with you about not giving up. I've had multiple people reach out to me this week with different things that they're struggling with. Some people were struggling with getting going. Some people were struggling with completing. Some people were struggling with finding success. Some people were struggling with finding motivation. I want you to understand that everything you have ever wanted in your entire life is on the other side of not giving up. Like, really think about that. If you're willing to commit to the process, to do whatever it is that you're going to do, once you get to the other side and you've committed to the fact that you're not going to fail, all of the things you ever want are right there. This week I talked with somebody who was having a bit of a challenge with, they were having challenge reaching some of the goals that they wanted. And I explained to them the path that I have been on. And it is a very unique one, but at the same time, it's not. The decisions that I've made this entire way through and through for this show for the last 3 or 4 years now, there's been a dash of luck, but there's also been an insane amount of tough work. Really, really tough work. And I explained to him, for every hour that you see me on YouTube, there's 10 hours worth of work that you don't see. Reading, researching, watching videos, taking notes, 40 pages of notes for this one episode today, generating the slides, okay, setting up the events, setting up the cameras, lights, makeup, everything. There's 10 hours for every 1 hour on air that no one ever sees. And I think that gets lost on some people. I think that the effort gets lost when you watch somebody who can come on air and do something that, yeah, it may be hard, but it also appears easy. You say, he's just got a camera and he's got a microphone and he's talking to the camera. But there's a lot that really happens to make that way. There's a personality that I watch, and if you're in any way into politics or conservative media, his name is Louder with Crowder, and he's a great content creator. And whether you agree with what he has to say or not, the production quality and what he's doing is top notch. It is beyond anything that I would hope, I would dream to aspire to be to his level someday. Plain and simply put, I would dream to be where he is at. But I don't resent the fact that he's there and I'm not, because where he is at on his journey is 16 years in. Okay. He's grinded and put in all that effort. And if I don't recognize the path that he took to get there, and I only recognize his current accomplishments, I can learn to be very resentful because of that. It's not a good place to be. I'm 4 years into what I plan to be a 20 or 30 year journey with you. I don't plan on leaving. I don't plan on taking a high-paying day job. I don't plan on getting bored of doing this. I don't plan on going back to reselling full-time or opening up another game store. I am here for the long haul. I plan to have a studio. I plan to have a staff. I plan to have more tools and get more access to more information and be able to do more for everyone here. It's because I'm not going to give up. It's because I'm going to remember that this is a very, very long journey. But that journey starts with taking those first steps and remembering how hard it was. I told him or her, the people that I had spoken with, that when I first started this show, I have episodes that came out that are on private now. I don't even want them on the channel. I have one. I looked back. It had less than 15 views. It took hours to put together. And I didn't know what I was doing yet. I didn't understand my technology. I didn't understand OBS. It's not comfortable to go back and watch that. And there's really no value for the consumer. But it was through those days of grinding it out and being awkward and being weird that led me to here, which I'm very, very grateful and very, very happy to be here. I don't make a lot doing this. I'll tell you exactly how much I made last month. It was $620. That's what I made last month. After my fees, and after YouTube's cut, and after my Patreon cuts and everything. And that doesn't count any of the equipment upgrades, assets, or anything else that went into it. I don't make a lot doing this, okay? But I know where I'm going to get to, and I know that I'm going to be in a position someday where I can do this full time. I can make $4,000 or $5,000 a month, and I'll be able to focus 100% of my effort into helping those who need help as an advocate for sellers who don't always have their voices heard. Remember, a quality of outcome requires a quality of effort. If you're not willing to do all of the hard things that someone else before you did to be successful, you are in no way entitled, or no way should you expect the same result that they have received. Even myself now, as we come to a close for 2019, I know I only have 4 or 5 more episodes left, but you're not going to see me taking my foot off the gas. Come December, I will be producing multiple videos that I will be releasing throughout the next year. We're going to wrap up some of our exposés. We're going to wrap up our bulk buying tutorial. We're going to wrap up our Mercari starter video. We have a lot of things in the pipeline, and I need more time, and frankly, I need more money to make those things happen, but we're not going to give up on them. They're going to keep happening. I'm not going to let off the gas on you guys. We're going to have a great year. We're going to finish strong. We're going to make it happen. Don't give up on your goals. Get back to work, everyone. Guys, this has been the Reseller Roundup for October 27th, 2019. Thank you to everyone who donated to Team Trees this week. It really means a lot to me to see those of you reach into your pockets. And if you haven't done so yet, please, for the love of God, go check out the Patreon. It's not for me, okay? $600 doesn't mean much to me. I made that in 2 days working in my living room, okay? But I want to do this full time. Go check out the darn Patreon. It's for you. It helps you, not me. Remember, guys, if you don't make that money, someone else will. Have a wonderful evening, and thanks for tuning in.